So here's the deal. Every single day, whether you realize it or not, there's a war being fought for your attention, for your beliefs. It's an information war. And your mind, that's the battlefield. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how it's being fought. You know the feeling, right? You're scrolling through your feed, and it's just this fire hose of information. Some of it's shocking, some of it's inspiring, and a lot of it is just plain weird. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed or confused, or maybe even like you're being played. Well, that feeling, it's not an accident.
That feeling is absolutely by design. There's a massive professional industry out there built for one purpose: to shape what you think and to direct what you do. So in this explainer, we're going to break down their entire playbook, and then we're going to show you how to build your own mental armor.
All right, so to fight back, we've got to understand the battlefield. And honestly, the term fake news is just way too broad. It doesn't really help. We need to get specific about the actual weapons being used against us. Okay, let's break this down. It's simpler than it looks. Misinformation, that's just an honest mistake. Think of your aunt sharing a fake healthcare because she genuinely thinks it's real. Disinformation, on the other hand, is a deliberate lie created specifically to trick you. Then there's malinformation, and this one is tricky. It's when someone uses true information, like leaking private emails, as a weapon to cause harm. And propaganda? That's the big umbrella that covers all of it. Its only goal is to influence you, and it'll use truth, lies, whatever it takes. The real key to telling them apart, it all comes down to intent.
So how does this stuff actually work in the real world? Well, here's the secret. Propaganda almost never attacks your logic head-on. That's too hard. Instead, it hacks your brain by exploiting the mental shortcuts you know, the cognitive biases that you and I rely on every single day. It's not about being smarter than you. It's about turning your own psychology into a weapon.
For example, take confirmation bias. Our brains are literally wired to look for proof that we're right. It feels good. Propagandists exploit this with a technique called card stacking. It's like a rigged card game. They'll show you a hand that looks absolutely amazing, all the facts and figures that support their view, while they hide the rest of the deck. Of course it looks like a winning hand. The game is rigged from the start. And then there's our deep, deep instinct for social proof. We're social animals. When we're not sure what to do, we look around to see what everyone else is doing. This gets exploited by the classic bandwagon technique. When you hear a slogan like, "Join the movement," or "Everyone switching to X," they're not just selling you an idea, they're selling a sense of belonging and tapping right into our fear of being the one person left behind. Our built-in authority bias is another huge target. We're taught from day one to trust experts, right? So propagandists use testimonials. You see a famous actor endorsing a political candidate or a sports hero telling you what kind of gasoline to buy. Now, are they experts in public policy or petrochemicals? Of course not. But their fame is used to transfer that feeling of trust and credibility over to the message.
Okay, so these psychological exploits, they're not random. They're the foundation for a whole playbook of classic techniques. Some of these tricks are literally over a century old. But you know what? They're still incredibly effective at shaping what we believe is real. Here are some of the all-stars you'll see everywhere. Name-calling. Why argue when you can just slap a nasty label on your opponent? Glittering generalities. Using these big, beautiful, but totally vague words like freedom, hope, and justice that feel amazing but mean nothing specific. Transfer. That's when you link your idea to something people already respect, like wrapping it in a national flag. Plain folks. This is when a powerful person tries to act like they're just an ordinary Joe to seem more trustworthy. And of course, fear appeals. Short-circuiting all rational thought by scaring you into agreement. It's not always about raw emotion, though. Sometimes the attack is a bit sneakier. It's an attack on your reason, using these little tricks of logic called logical fallacies. Think of them as arguments that are designed to sound super convincing, even when their underlying logic is completely broken. Okay, watch the classic straw man fallacy in action. It's a simple three-step trick. Step 1. Someone makes a reasonable argument like, "Hey, we should probably invest more in public transit." Step 2, an opponent twists that argument into something totally absurd and easy to attack, the straw man. They'll shout, "He wants to take away everyone's cars." See? Absurd. Step 3,
They attack the fake argument they just invented, and of course it's really easy to win a fight against a man made of straw. They look like they've won the debate, but they never even touched the real issue.
Now, let's pour some gasoline on this fire. Because everything we've just talked about, all these classic, old-school techniques have been taken by technology, by social media, by AI, and supercharged into a global, industrial-scale operation of deception.
Yeah, this is not some fringe activity anymore. It's big business. A report from Oxford University tracked $60 million spent on private cyber troop firms. These are basically for-hire digital mercenaries. They use huge armies of bots and fake accounts to artificially pump up social media trends and create the illusion that everyone is talking about some idea, an idea they were paid to push.
This whole industry has gotten so professional that it now has its own creepy name, Disinformation as a Service, or DAS. It's a full-on cybercrime model where basically anyone with enough cash can hire a firm to invent a lie and then blast it across the internet. It is, quite literally, propaganda on demand.
And the technology is just getting wilder. The rise of artificial intelligence and deepfakes prompted this really stark warning from Australia's defense chief. He talked about an era of truth decay, a time where it could become almost impossible for most of us to distinguish a real video from a sophisticated computer-generated fake.
So the modern digital playbook is, well, it's sophisticated. You've got astroturfing, which fakes a grassroots movement to make an idea seem popular. You've got sock puppeting, where just one person controls dozens of fake online identities to argue with people. Entire networks of these fakes work together in what the platforms call coordinated inauthentic behavior. And maybe the most clever one, information laundering. They'll plant a lie on some tiny fringe website, get a blog to pick it up, then a bigger blog, until it gets laundered into looking like a legitimate story.
Okay, I know, that was a lot, and it can sound pretty bleak, but here is the most important part. Understanding the playbook is the single best way to defend yourself against it. So let's get you equipped. Let's build that mental armor for the information war.
Before you hit share on anything, just run it through this quick 4-step mental checklist. First, check your emotions. Is this post making you intensely angry or scared? If so, just pause. That's a sign your buttons are being pushed. Second, check the source. Is it a real news organization you've heard of? Or is it something like therealtruthnow.biz? Third, check for evidence. Does it actually cite facts you can verify? Or is it just a bunch of opinions and vague claims? And fourth, check other sources. Just do a quick search. Are at least 2 other credible, independent outlets reporting the same story? If not, you should be very, very skeptical.
And one final really critical thing to remember. Our brains have this little glitch. It's called the illusory truth effect. It means that the more often we hear something, the truer it starts to feel, even if it's a total lie. Seeing a false headline a dozen times doesn't make it real. It's just a tactic designed to wear you down and make the lie feel familiar. Don't fall for it. In the end, awareness really is our best defense. But it does leave us with a pretty chilling question for the future. As AI gets better and better at faking reality, are we walking into an age where we have to fundamentally learn to distrust our own eyes and ears? And what happens to a society that can no longer agree on what's real? That is definitely something to think about. Thanks for watching The Explainer.